So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room, and I'll play the piano alone. But I'm too scared to delete all our videos, 'cause it's real once everyone knows.
Would love to see what happens if we sing this chorus on that Sisi, but make it in a breathy chest voice. Now let's add the lyrics back in and see what happens. Same concept. Now it's just with words.
Okay. So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room, and I'll play the piano alone. But I'm too scared to delete all our videos, 'cause it's real once everyone knows. Could have at least shown me some decency, done me a favor and packed up your clothes. Falling in love, no, it ain't for the weak, so don't try this at home.
Oh my God, I have so many goosebumps right now. I'm gonna cry. Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. It is time for another in-person lesson. We are in the studio in my basement together with Rachel Beasley. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
I always love working with a fellow singer, artist, and vocal coach too.
Yes.
You have a huge background. You have a lot of experience. Can you tell us just real quick a little bit more about your singing experience?
Yeah, so I always like to make this joke that when I was born, I came out of the womb singing and not crying.
I love it.
So I feel like I've been singing all my life, but I have more of a background in like musical theater, show choir. You know, we do live in Indiana, so that's kind of a thing around the Midwest.
Yeah.
But then I went to college. I did 2 years of music education, so I had a classical background. And then when I left, I started working for a music school that taught a lot of rock and pop and like secular music. So I made that shift, and then I joined a band here in town, and I started doing more rock and pop. And I also joined a gospel group, so I did R&B as well.
Cool.
Just a little bit of everything. I think that's healthy for a singer.
Yeah.
Just to get a little taste of everything. It makes you more marketable.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, especially because right before we started rolling the cameras, you were telling me that the next step, like something you'd like to explore, is maybe some background vocals, studio vocals, like session singer, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Like I do love singing the covers and getting into the spotlight every once in a while. That's super fun, showing my chops. But what I really love to do is layer background vocal harmonies and be in the studio, and also sing background for touring artists. And that's something that I really want to do more of. And I'm just not quite sure what the next step is because I live in Indianapolis. I've kind of been locked into this scene. So I'm trying to break out a little bit. So if anybody out there is looking for a background singer, willing to relocate. Okay,
there you go. Perfect. I love that. I love that. Well, you know, being versatile, having a bigger background with like different genres and all these different things that you did is going to be a really big asset for you.
Yes.
Right? Because you don't have to go for just a certain kind of background vocalist or session singer. You can kind of adapt to whatever you need to do. And like I told you before, Coach Bree on our team is our versatility specialist because she has also done background vocals and she knows how important it is to be versatile for this kind of gig. So I am super excited. We did a session together. This was over Zoom though.
Yes, that was a while ago too. I know.
Was it like, what, a year and a half ago,
Yeah,
maybe?
I think so.
Something like that. I'd have to pull up my notes to know exactly, but it's been a minute. And and now we get to work together in person, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add, it was only an hour-long session, and she taught me things that stuck with me and transformed the way that I sang just in that hour. So thank you so much for that, by the way.
You're so
Appreciate
very
it.
welcome. I'm so glad to hear that. You know, I'm here to help. So glad to hear it was helpful.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So today we're going to be working on In the Kitchen. Renee Rapp. You said earlier that she's kind of like your final boss in a video game that you just can't beat.
Yes, absolutely. Every time I try to do one of her songs, I don't think I've ever 100% nailed one of her songs. I've been like 90, maybe 95%, but every single time I go to do one of her songs, there's always like a sliver or a portion where I'm just like, oh, like I cannot get that into my muscle memory. I do not know where that placement is. Like, how does she do this so effortlessly? I feel like I'm trying so hard.
Yeah.
And I want to make it a little bit effortless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's make it happen. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got.
Let's see it.
Also, we're in the height of allergy season. You just got a steroid shot for it.
Yes, I
so
did.
that is something we want to keep in mind, right? Like the voice is never 100% consistent and always spot on because it's like your instrument is a part of your body. So things like allergies do affect your voice. So be gentle with yourself.
You're delicate.
Yes. But I would say let's just dig right in. We'll go through maybe first verse and chorus.
Okay.
And then
perfect.
stop there and talk about it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
see what we want to do. All right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
When I walk in the kitchen, heart hits the floor, 'cause it's you that I'm missing. I still see a vision of us cooking dinner, and you holding me from behind. And you say, please be careful, knife is so big and we can't have another ER trip. We're too young, too dumb, too in love to afford it. And now it's just me in 100 square feet of bittersweet memories. Deleted the playlist, but I still hear all of your favorite melodies. Strangers to lovers to enemies. So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room, and I'll play the piano alone. But I'm too scared to delete all our videos, 'cause it's real once everyone knows. Could have at least shown me some decency, done me a favor and packed up your clothes. Falling in love, no, it ain't for the weak, so don't try this at home.
All right.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That's great. How'd it feel?
Scary. I don't know why it's scary.
Yeah.
I haven't done that song in a while.
Okay.
So I think going into it, I started to get those ooh, my body was starting to have that ooh, remember this song is hard reaction. And I was like my breath support. I always tell my students, breath support is the first thing to go when you're nervous. And boy, did I feel it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and then obviously the cracking, the trying to stay in that pharyngeal placement, it was just really difficult for me. And again, it sounds like I require a lot of force to keep it there too.
Yeah, I mean, it's da 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 da.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so high and it stays there.
Yes.
That's the hard part, right? It's not just one note where you're going up and then you're back down.
Yeah.
It stays there and it stays there forever. And then you get to the second verse and then you're back up there forever, right? So this is really, really hard to sing. The big thing that I noticed was, your verses, kind of like that pre-chorus situation there into your chorus was we went from 30% volume to 90 or 95, right? So it's okay, how can we sing that chorus with maybe just a little bit less volume and also a little bit less effort? But that's the hardest part about it.
Yes.
But it's you don't need to tell me that that's what we want to do. I know,
no.
but I don't know how, right? That's
Exactly.
the hard
Well,
part.
that's why I'm here.
Exactly. That's why we can work on this. Are you familiar with Jessie J?
I am. Oh, yes.
Queen, right?
Yes, exactly. That's another one where I'm how?
I know. Oh, I'm in the same boat. I'm absolutely in the same boat. There's this video of her where she is singing bang, bang, da, 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 with a closed mouth. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like on
Yeah.
the kind of like a pufferfish too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
So that's actually exactly what I want to try with you in
Okay.
this chorus.
Yes, perfect.
Just to remove all of the volume, right? So basically what we want to do here is teach the vocal folds how to hit these notes without all of the force behind it, right? Right now there's a lot of volume, a lot of air, a lot of compression in your vocal folds, right? Your vocal folds are really coming together tightly to make that sound so powerful.
Yes.
And so a lot of times people say like, just reduce your breath, which I'm like, yes and no. No, in the sense of if there's not enough breath coming through, sometimes the vocal folds pinch together even more and you get even more compression. And we want actually less compression. So instead of just thinking less breath, I like to think less compression, less vocal fold closure, essentially what it comes down to. Right? So we still have the flow. But we don't have the squeeze. And that's why I want to try it on this puffer fish, which
Absolutely.
you would love, I heard. So
My students, if you're watching,
puffer fish.
you see where I got it from.
Ooh, yeah, I love the puffer fish. For me personally, I prefer it over lip trill. But, you know, whatever you like best is fine with me. So before we do it in the song, let's just quickly turn it into an exercise.
Absolutely.
Let's try. Boo, 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 boo. Exactly, yeah, it's just a boo, 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 boo. Exactly. Yeah, one more time. Nice. Yeah. All right, we're just gonna go up by half step with this. Great, let's do that one more time.
Yeah.
Okay, this is your break right there. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
So let's try just again one more time, right? Sometimes it takes like a hot minute for the voice to get used to it and be like, oh, how can I get this note out without force?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Still flow, but no force.
Yeah.
Flow, but no force. Yeah, you found it on that
Okay,
last one.
yes.
Let's do it again. Nice. Good. One more time. Great.
Yeah, you
Do
get
you-
that break. Yeah.
Yeah, do you hear slight vocal fry coming through
Yes.
there when you're re-attacking it? Vocal fry happens when there's a lack of breath flow.
Okay.
So what we want to focus on is more flow. Get the breath out. And just
I was kind of stopping myself. I see it.
Yep. And if you're like, oh, there's going to be like too much air coming out of my mouth, you can just put a little bit more quote unquote tension on your lips, right? Not tension in the sense of like I'm squeezing anything, but just making sure that the opening is really, really, really quite small so that you feel more of this back pressure, more of that SOVT effect, semi-occluded vocal tract. All right, where were we? Here. That was not bad.
Yeah, I kept the flow. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it feeling okay in your throat?
Yeah, it is. And I noticed that like when we were at my break and I started having that vocal fry or that lack of flow, I just remembered to relax my larynx, kind of gave it a little bit more of a open sense versus like
Yeah. Yeah. Just making sure it doesn't get stuck up there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Open it up and relax.
That is really great feedback for me. Thank you for telling me that, because now we can adjust the exercise based on that to make sure that it's not going to get stuck up there. So
I love working with vocal coaches. Like, this is so fun for me.
I do too, because you can tell me what you're adjusting and what you're
Yes.
feeling, and then I'm like, okay, let's make that
I'm like,
happen.
this is so much fun.
Yes. And when you're working with more beginner singers, they don't really know what it is they're doing. So it makes my job a little bit harder, but either way, we can all learn, right?
Exactly.
So when it comes to larynx, right? Like you feel like it's kind of getting stuck up there, and I just want to make sure it's like, I'm giving myself the space.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you go up in pitch, your larynx will go up, right? And when you're singing contemporary stuff, right? That is normal. We just want to make sure that it doesn't get stuck. That's the important part. So to practice that, doing interval jumps is great. So instead of ba 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 re-attacking the same note, we're gonna jump back and forth between different notes.
All right.
So actually, we're gonna go down just a little bit to make that adjustment.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop.
All right.
Great. Feel free to add like those boop, boop, boop. So you're basically stopping your breath a little bit. Not stopping your breath in the sense of it, like you're always exhaling, but your lips completely stop it for like a millisecond.
Okay.
All right. So here. One more time. This one's hard. Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm like trying to keep the airflow, but also like stop. I don't know. It's a weird like mind trick. But I'm gonna try it again. I feel like I'm doing too much right here. Like
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just make it a little littler.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. What was the adjustment you made?
I just stopped. I was doing a lot of like like of the abrupt stopping, and I kind of put less force behind it, and I was trying to let the flow happen, but like instead of like moving my entire face, I was just trying to close my lips
just in the lips,
very slightly, very very slightly.
Perfect. Right. One more time here. One more. Okay, how's it feeling?
Good.
That was pretty good. Nice and smooth.
Yes.
Obviously, it's incredibly difficult to stay in like a chest dominant sound up on that
how
sound.
I felt. Yeah, it wasn't very chesty, which is where I was like kind of trying to keep it before, but I think it was easier for me just to flip into that like mixy head voice range. Is there a way to make that chest dominant? Is it just trying? Like, just keep trying.
It's mostly a mental thing, right?
Okay.
If you're like, I want to make sure I'm not getting too heady or too mixy, you want to make it more chest dominant, then it's really just a mental note of like, all right, I'm going to try and make it more chest dominant because you're going to change it at a vocal fold level. And that's what I like about this exercise. You can't use your resonance and like all this other stuff that happens after your sound gets produced to modify the sound. Right? Yeah, you mean we're basically training the vocal folds, right? Not everything else that goes into singing here too.
Okay. And that's something that I don't really hear a lot about. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we do like symptom treatment,
right?
In the sense of like, open your mouth more or open your mouth less or whatever.
We've seen the TikToks.
We see the TikToks. You know what I'm talking about. I'm glad I'm not the only one. But I with singers like you and me, because we're very much the same. I mean, not the same, but very similar.
Yes.
We need to make sure that down here is already not happening too much stuff, right? And closing the mouth helps focus the energy on your throat, on your vocal folds, and not everything else then too.
Right.
Because you don't need more power.
Right.
We need to control the power.
So and I know you've had vocal nodules in the past too, when the way that I fixed putting that pressure on my vocal cords was putting a lot of emphasis on placement and where things are resonating.
Okay.
But I've never thought of it as like training the actual vocal folds to do what you want them to do. I always just kind of assumed that they were going to do whatever, and you had to be the manufacturer of where that sound was coming from. So,
well, it's a little bit of both,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
There's always a million things that are happening at the same time in
I always
singing.
say it's like patting your head, rubbing your tummy, and doing a cartwheel at the same time.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my God.
Learning how to sing is like.
Good luck. Yes, pretty much. But at the same time, we don't want to overcomplicate it either, right? But placement obviously goes into it. But I think with you, it's more the vocal fold level that we need to train right now because you have the other stuff figured out. Talking about figuring it out at a vocal fold level, another thing we can practice too is breathy singing. Did we do that in our session?
Yeah.
Yeah. That again is just going to help
what
decompress.
The first verse was kind of like, right? Like when I was singing.
Yeah. Okay. So that was actually something I was gonna mention, but I wanted to focus on the chorus first. But now that you're bringing it up, I might as well say it. I actually think you can make the verse a whole lot breathier than you did.
Really? Okay. Sometimes I lose my support when I do that.
Okay. Talk to me. What's your definition for support?
I run out of air really fast.
You run out of breath.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say I feel like I'm singing through a breath, and because I'm doing that, it's kind of like the consonant H, where you have to like release a lot of air just to make it happen. Is there a way to not do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Listen to Billie Eilish. She is a masterclass on this stuff. Okay. Her phrases are incredibly long and she's singing in a breathy voice. And it's like, girl, how are you not running out of breath? How is this possible? So yes, there's absolutely a way to make that happen. All you need to do is train your vocal folds to not over open. Right. Because when you're singing in a breathy voice, your vocal folds are shaped like a V. They vibrate against each other. When you're singing with a breathy voice, they don't close completely. There's a little bit of a gap, so more air is leaking through. Right. And so all we need to do is make that gap only as big as we have to make it to still sound breathy. Okay. Right? Yeah. And we also don't have to go sound incredibly super breathy. Just a little bit is enough to give you that, I call it like a broken quality, right? And broken in the best sense.
No, I know, right? Exactly. Like that emotional broken quality.
Yeah, exactly. And so I actually think that in the verse, we could explore that even more and do even less in the verse. Okay. And then in the chorus, when you're practicing a breathy voice, it's going to help you, again, to decompress your vocal folds so they're not squeezing together so tightly. Okay. And then all we need to do is figure out how can we keep that same feeling of flow. Again, the vocal folds are letting the air come through, but they're closing completely. And there's no gap, right? Yeah. But again, we're still using the breath. Okay. Right? Anyways, going back to the that part, you want to make it chestier. Okay, let's try it on a pop.
A pop? Mm-hmm. Okay.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to ask if it was like a mental thing, but now I'm like, oh, there's another thing for this. See, this is why I love vocal pedagogy. There's always something for it. Yeah.
There's always something, yes.
And if you don't know it, somebody else does.
Yeah. So I mean, with if you want to stay on a pufferfish, it really mostly is just a mental thing. Okay. But we can use like a pop exercise, like pop, 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 for example. I just chose a fifth. You can do something else. It really doesn't matter what you do. But that is going to give you a little bit more of that power that you're looking for. But we just need to make, actually, in your case, we might want to modify that to we're going to do Sisi. C, and we're going to do it twice in a row.
Get into that mixed voice.
Yes, the S compared to the P sound, the S compared to the P, gives you more flow, more breath flow, right? The P can sometimes be a little bit of a pressure launch pad. And then exactly. Then we're working too hard again. So let's try it on a CC instead. Okay. Also, I changed it to E instead of ah, like pop versus C, because ah is very open, and the more open it is, the more force you're going to use to push the notes out. C, you can't really do that. So I want you to stay small in your mouth on purpose. Just again, so we can train the vocal folds down there. Right? Alrighty, we're doing twice in a row. C, 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 actually 3 times. C, 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 C.
Right. C, 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 C.
Nice. And we're just going to do it nice and quick. One more time.
C, 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 C. Sisi, 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 Sisi.
Don't slow down.
Okay.
Sisi, 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 Sisi.
Okay. Sisi, Sisi, Sisi.
Great.
Okay.
Sisi, can you relax your mouth a little more?
Yes.
One more time.
Maybe I can. I don't know. I'm such a smiley person. I'm like, I need to stop. Serious.
It's not that serious, I promise.
Now it's never going to be relaxed.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm sorry. Okay. C, 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 C.
There you go. Right? We're just trying to do as little as possible. Right? Alrighty. One more time.
Perfect. C, 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 C. C, 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 C. C, 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 C. C, 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 C.
All right. It's getting mixier up here. Do you feel it? Alrighty. C, 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 he, he.
All right. C, 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 C.
Great. Now split the difference.
Okay. C, 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 C.
That was better. Yes, there's less push behind it. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
One more time, 5% less.
C, 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 C.
Great. I want you to treat the top note the same as you do the bottom note. So it's not C, 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 like punching that top note, but more even throughout.
Gotcha. C, 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 C.
That's hard,
I'm
right?
finding it. I'm like, it's there.
Yeah.
I'm finding it.
You are. You're doing
This
it.
is where practice comes into play.
Yes, baby.
I'm finding it. All right. C, 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 C. C, 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 C.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you shake your head while you're doing it?
Yeah. C, 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 C. Oh, you ate with that.
So the reason why I asked you to do it is because I'm seeing some veins and some muscles popping out here on the side of your neck. And I saw that while you were singing too. And doing this is symptom treatment again, right? Yes. So it's always a little bit of both. Yes. We always got to do a little bit of everything. But that's great. So now we're combining the symptom treatment and the finding the root cause of it and working on that too.
And you know what? I recently lost a bunch of weight and I never noticed, I could never see the veins popping out of my neck. But in my recent videos, I would see that and I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's bad.
It's pressure.
Yes, exactly. Which is what I don't want. And that's what I'm like, ooh, I'm hitting the notes and it's sounding good, but I look like I'm really trying for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Well, but it's also different from person to person. I remember I had a check-in session with one of Coach Emily's students, and she was like, just a heads up. She looks like she has a lot of neck tension. She doesn't.
That's just her neck.
Exactly. Okay. And so it just really kind of depends on the person. Okay. But veins usually are a sign of that there's a lot of pressure. Right. And where is that pressure coming from? The vocal folds, right? So when you're picking up something really heavy, what do? That is a lot of pressure that's building up internally so that you can lift this heavy thing. Right. It's a natural bodily function that we perform. Same when you go to the bathroom, right? Yeah. So maybe not like that, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I'm with you.
Okay. Thank you. And so it's that kind of pressure. It's the same thing. And we do that by closing the vocal folds really firmly, really tightly. And so there's no breath coming through. There's no leak, right? That's how you get more strength. And so in singing, it's a similar issue, or actually pretty much exactly the same thing, which is also why make sure that you're not squeezing your abs when you sing.
I struggle with that a lot. So that is interesting.
Yeah. So if you're working with a head dominant singer, more like a songbird kind of singer, somebody who's struggling with getting enough power into it, I'm all for it because that's going to help them get more vocal fold closure.
Good to know.
But in your case and my case, no. Right. No squeezing the abs. No squeezing the abs.
Gotcha.
It might be helpful in the moment, but it ain't sustainable.
That's why I kind of looked at you like a deer in headlights because I was like, I've definitely told, and it was like my singer, songbird, everything in head voice type of students. Yep. I've definitely told my students to squeeze their abs.
Oh, I have too.
I'm like, wait.
No. I have to. And that's what makes
scratch.
Yeah, that's what makes vocal coaching so difficult because we're all different. And what's going to work for one person is not going to work for another. And so you have to kind of know who's in front of you.
Yeah.
But because you and I are very similar singer, it's very easy for me to know what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you because it's what worked for me.
Looking in a mirror. Yeah.
Exactly. So we were doing the CCC.
Right.
Yeah, just make sure you're not squeezing your abs and focus on flow.
Can I do that head shake
The
thing again?
head
Yeah,
shake,
I'm like,
exactly. Wherever we were, maybe here. I think we were here.
C, 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 C. I'm still flipping over that break though.
Yep, exactly. So just think 5% chestier.
Okay. C, 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 C.
All right, we're gonna go down a little bit. It's hard to start right up there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just go down a little bit. And when you think chest voice, but quiet.
Okay.
Right? Like we want to make it 5% chestier, but we don't want to be loud.
Right. Okay.
All right.
C, 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 C.
Great. And make sure you're not going C, 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 like smiling on the top note. Keep the mouth shape the same.
Okay. C, 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 C.
Nice.
C, 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 C. C, 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 C. C, 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 C. C, 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 C.
Great. One more time.
C, 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 C.
That's actually pretty good. Start adding the head shake though.
C, 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 C.
Yes, baby.
C, 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 C. C, 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 C. C, 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 C. C, 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 C.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm getting out there. I'm like starting to smile a little bit. I was like,
Okay. I was very impressed with what you just did.
Oh, thank you.
Just saying. How did it feel?
Better than it has in the past, for sure.
Okay.
There was one of the things that I realized was not only am I squeezing my abs, but I'm also like tightening my butt.
Yeah.
And once I relaxed my butt, it became easier. Like everything kind of opened up in that like pelvic floor region where I didn't have to. It wasn't just my abs that were squeezing. It was everything. I call it, when I'm teaching my students, I call it the inner tube. It was everything in my inner tube was getting squeezed up. I was like, I had to relax the full inner tube, not just the abs.
Yeah, I mean, you can always add like a little shake or some sort of movement. Movement helps relax the body. That was really good though. Anything else you noticed?
I'm trying to think. Now I know how my students feel.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to be in reverse roles.
How'd that feel? Good. And I just stare at them like,
no, thanks. That's helpful.
Okay, what was good about it? Use your singing words.
Yes. No, it's hard. It's hard. I struggled with it too. Like when my voice teacher asked me, how was that? I'm like, good. I was like, oh, damn it. That was not very helpful feedback. We went all the way up to E.
Wonderful.
5, which is higher than what you have to do in the song.
Yes. Okay,
we
wonderful.
only have to go to D.
Right.
So that's a good thing. You did not, like it, to me, it didn't sound yelly, shouty, anything like that on these top notes.
Right.
It sounded more control. I looked at your mouth too. You did not start opening your mouth a lot more, which again is like, all right, now we're making sure that this down here is getting figured out.
That's something you taught me.
Yeah.
And that lesson a while ago is to not give the big open mouth all the time. Yeah.
Exactly.
To help that
works
pharyngeal
for
placement.
some singers, does not work for everybody. If you do this with singers like you and me, we just start yelling.
Right. Yep.
It's true. It's true.
It absolutely is.
But again, songbird singers who should squeeze their, not should, but sometimes it's helpful when they squeeze their abs a little bit.
Never hurt.
It can also be helpful to open the mouth more. It just really kind of depends on the person. Bueno. Before we do breathy stuff, let's just see where we're at now for the chorus and see what happens. Okay. We're going to do the entire chorus in Sisi.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where does the chorus start? Do you know? I don't even know. Somewhere here.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
C, 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 C.
Love it.
Am I still? Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Cool.
20% less volume.
Cool.
A little bit further back.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
I think. Lover. See. I just feel like I know. I'm like, if I give that less volume, my voice automatically wants to go into that head range. And I'm like, dang
this
it.
is the hard part. This is
Yes.
the hard part. So, see. Oh, it's a B flat too. It's the worst
I
note.
hate the B flat.
Isn't it funny how like B flat and B are harder to sing than like D and E up there? It's like, what?
Yes.
But yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Sisi.
No. Sisi. I'm trying to like find that space.
Shake their head.
Sisi. Ooh. Sisi. Sisi. I didn't get a good breath.
Can you just quickly give me a sigh? Great.
Reset the lyrics. Yeah.
Yes, and flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm yawning.
Yeah. Good luck. You're going to be yawning for the next 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Can you give me a C?
C.
Make it super breathy.
C.
There it is. One more time.
C.
Great. C. Can you make the note 10% breathier?
Yeah. C.
Great. Now do it in a breathy chest voice.
C.
Okay.
We're doing something?
We're getting somewhere.
Yes.
That was actually quite good. Ooh, I like teaching while standing. I start doing like weird,
I do.
weird hops. Usually I sit when I teach. It's like, oh, this is fun. Movement.
I love it.
That was good. How did that feel?
Better.
Okay.
Better. I still feel like I want to slip into that head voice region, but I am starting to find that placement where it's like, nope, keep it there. And like,
Yes.
C. Now I'm opening my mouth. C.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I would love to see what happens if we sing this chorus on that Sisi, but make it in a breathy chest voice as much as possible.
Yes.
Okay, you're probably gonna crack.
Yeah, probably.
And that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. We're practicing.
It is. You're right.
And so yeah, that C, that kind of sound.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
C.
Holy shit. Okay. How is that?
Good. Feels very mixy, but that's good, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, that's good.
Yes, baby.
That's my problem with that passaggio range is that I want to either pull out that chest voice and give it the force, or I need to just like mix.
You just turned it from a yelling belty sound into a mixed belt. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That sounded so good.
Good.
I love that. How did it feel physically?
Good. Oh my gosh, so much less force.
Okay.
So much less force.
Can you hear how that is still powerful?
Yes, I can.
Yes?
Yes, I know. I had to think about it for a second, but I'm like, yes. Especially because I was thinking about it within the context of the song. I was like, when you first asked that question, I was like, no, because of how I was used to singing it. But then when I was thinking it within the full context of the song with those like softer verses and stuff, I'm like, oh, yes, never mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
like,
100%.
I see it.
If you compare it to what you were doing before, yes, this is a lot less powerful.
Right.
But if we don't look at that, if we pretend like that never happened, and you're just objectively looking at or listening to what that just sounded like, like, yeah, no, that's plenty powerful. I don't know why you would want to do more than that.
Right.
Because everything more from here, more power, more volume is just going to cost you more effort, and it's not going to get you a better result. Actually, quite the contrary. It's going to sound less good.
You're going to have to pay the vocal fairy. Have you ever heard that analogy?
Vocal fairy.
Have you ever heard that analogy?
Oh my gosh. Like I use like vocal dollars.
Yes, that's
but I never heard about the vocal fairy.
The vocal fairy comes down and gives you those dollars.
Okay.
And then when you're pushing too hard, you go into vocal debt and you have to pay the vocal fairy by going on vocal rest or like
Oh my god, that's cute. I'm stealing
Yes,
that.
please.
I am so stealing that. That was so good though. Yeah, that's where we want to live. So talk to me. What were you thinking about when you were doing it?
I definitely, oddly enough, I was focusing less on placement and more on that, like, having the vocal folds hit evenly through that breathiness. And I think because I was less focused on, okay, I'm going to place it in chest and now I'm going to mix it here and now I'm going to do this and now I'm going to do that. It happened effortlessly and seamlessly in a way that I'm not used to. So
I love it. I love it. And the thing is, like, you didn't even sound breathy, right? And that's the goal. Like, we think about singing in a breathy voice so that we can focus on the flow of it, the seamlessness of it, the smoothness of it. But it doesn't actually sound breathy, right? Ooh, let's do that again.
See, 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 see.
Good.
Wonderful.
And especially for the first chorus, this is plenty.
Okay.
Right? Like,
yes.
we could maybe say, like, all right, for the second chorus, we maybe add 5% more, right?
Yes.
But
I'd
rather have you do just a little bit less now, like what you were doing just now.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Doing that, because as soon as you start adding the lyrics, what's going to happen? We start doing more again.
Classic, yeah.
Right? So I'd rather have you practice it in this mixy place, like you called it. It's a very chest dominant mixy place where you're at right now. And then now let's add the lyrics back in and see what happens. Same concept. Now it's just with words.
Okay. So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room, and I'll play the piano alone, but I'm too scared to delete all our videos, 'cause it's real once everyone knows. Could have at least shown me some decency, done me a favor and packed up your clothes. Falling in love, no, it ain't for the weak, so don't try this at home.
Oh my God, I have so many goosebumps right now. I'm gonna cry.
I feel like I was completely dead faced because I was like focusing very hard. I'm like, stay here, stay here.
I
But it was
wish
good.
I could show you my legs right now. I have so many goosebumps on my legs. I usually get goosebumps on my legs instead of my arms. I don't know why, but holy... Oh my God.
And that feels sustainable too.
No shit, Sherlock. Ooh, that was spicy. That was good. How do you feel?
Good, sustainable. Like,
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I could sing a 3-hour set like that. And usually for like the sets that I do that have those harder songs, usually by the end of 3 hours, I'm like,
Yeah, of course.
gotta pay the vocal fairy.
Yeah. And then shut up for the next 3 days, right?
Literally.
Oh my God, that was so good. That was, no, really, literally, that was amazing.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And I loved watching your mouth too, because you went from this to it's just like whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know how like this chorus has kind of like 2 parts?
Yes.
Kind of like almost like repeats.
Yes.
The second part, you started working a little bit harder with your mouth. You had just like, it was just more stuff happening in your mouth. Did you notice a difference?
I didn't notice the difference in my mouth, but I noticed that I started feeling tension in that inner tube spot, and I started relaxing it. And then, but I didn't realize that I was doing it with my mouth too. Just the tension was everywhere. Yeah.
No, but you caught like when that second half of the chorus started, that's when your mouth started doing more again, and then it stopped again towards the end of it. So that's probably when you started relaxing this down here. Interesting, right? So the mouth was trying to compensate for what was happening in your ab/butt region, in your inner tube.
It's cool to have somebody who knows, like, with eyes on me, tell me that, because I'm like, I didn't even notice my mouth was doing that. I felt it down here.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
That
I love the
was,
voice.
I know. That was so good.
Thank you.
Honestly, I wish I could sing that like that. That was awesome.
stop.
That was really, 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 really good. If you tell me you like that, I'm happy with
I
that.
do like that. Yes, I do like that for sure.
There you go.
Couch that we sat on back in New York has made its way 3,000 miles to LA. These pillows been talking, asking me where the hell you been. Told me you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over. I don't remember the words. And I'm also losing that placement.
Yep. You started seeing the panic on your face a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wait, how do I transition this?
Yes. So that part, do you want to build more there or no?
I would like to build
You would
more
like
there,
to more.
yes.
Okay.
Me, you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over.
Okay.
Who would have known that phone would come to Okay, there you go. I'm like, what are those words?
So that part, let's just try it on CCC and see what happens. Maybe that is already enough. Maybe not. We'll see.
I think it's like not so much finding the placement, but finding the placement coming out of that chest, like, asking me where the hell you been. Because like I said, I was a placement queen. And now I'm like trying to transition less from that. And now I'm like finding it hard to find that place without being like, now I'm transitioning to pharyngeal, mixed voice, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm squeezing, and now, oh my gosh, everything is falling apart.
Yes. I usually say, like, the more similar we can keep it, like in placement and in registration and all of that, the easier it's going to get to sing it.
Yes.
Because you're not hopping all over the place.
Okay.
But yeah, the CC might help with it.
Yeah,
let's just see what happens with that.
C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C C. Yeah, I already saw it. Yeah, I'm like,
I'm also seeing you do this a little bit.
yeah, and that's the inner tube.
And that's the butt squeezing.
Yeah,
right?
sure is.
Can you just get a little bit more into your knees and just do a little bit of a shake while you're doing it? Yeah. Exactly.
C C C C C C C C C C C.
Okay. These are long phrases.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
how was that?
good. Better than the last time.
Okay.
Which is the name of the game. So
Yes.
yeah.
And did you want to make that more powerful, or are we happy with this?
I think I'm happy with that. Yeah.
I don't think
Because
it needs
then it's
it.
going, I was going to say, because then it's going to build from there on top of it already. And it's already building. So
Exactly.
I don't want to give it
Don't work harder than you
90%
have to.
and then have to go back to 70. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Cool. Let's just do that again.
Yeah.
But on the words this time.
Yeah. Okay.
Focus on flow.
Been told,
Well, you've been.
Yeah, you're right. Told me you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over. Now would have known that the falling would come to an end.
Great. Can we, just for artistry's sake, can we try and sing a "Told Me You Love Me"?
Yeah.
Like do that in a breathy voice.
Yeah.
First of all, it's gonna be easier to sing.
Love.
Second of all, it creates more contrast, so it is more interesting to listen to.
Cool.
So whenever you sing that 2 weeks in, or however exactly it goes, the high note in a breathy voice. Let's try that a cappella just real quick. Told me
you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew. I feel like I'm doing a lot of mouth work. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of breath when you're doing it in a breathy voice, right?
Yeah.
Can we keep the same feeling of flow and reduce the breathiness on that a little bit?
Yes. Told me you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over.
Yes. And then can we do over and over rather than over and over? Yeah. Right? So that not all of them are up in a breathy head voice / falsetto.
Over and over. Oh, I did it again. Over and over. Over and over.
Okay. We're gonna open up a little bit more on that because otherwise the vowel sounds a little
over.
Yeah. Oh, over and over.
Over and over.
Cool. One more time.
Over and over.
Great. Is that note sustained a little bit like you were just doing it?
No.
Okay. So
Over and over. Oh, it is actually just like a teeny bit. Over and over.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now the top note, 10% less volume, just on the top note.
What is that note?
Oh, I'm not gonna tell you.
I was gonna say, is that a B flat? That's why I was like.
Sometimes it's better when we don't know what it is.
You are so right. You are so right. Over and over.
Okay, so we're kind of going over and
Yeah.
That was more yelly than what you were doing, but there's a lot of push on that top note.
Okay.
Over and over.
Over and over. Over and over.
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ah.
Over and over. I feel like that was a lot.
That was a lot.
Yes.
It sounded great, but it was a lot.
Yes,
right?
exactly. And that's not the name of the game. Right?
So try just a sigh one more time. Yeah. Over and over.
Over and over.
One more time.
Over and over.
There it is.
Over and over.
Don't start doing more than you have to. One more time.
Over and over.
Yes.
Over and over. Okay.
That's really quite beautiful. How does it feel?
Better.
Okay.
Over and over. Yeah.
You're doing that over,
Yeah.
right? Like you're singing two notes on it versus over and over.
Do you want it to be one? I think it's two notes in the track, but do you want it to be one note?
I liked what you just did.
Oh, okay, cool.
And if you like that and it feels good, I'm happy with it.
Cool.
I just sometimes like to point things out that you do, not necessarily
Yeah.
to change it, but just to make sure you're aware
Oh, okay,
of what
wonderful.
it is you're doing.
Cool.
But yeah, that was good.
I was like, I'll change it if you want me to, Laura.
No. Keep
I'll do
it.
whatever you ask.
Thank you.
You can just keep me in this basement.
Lock you in.
Exactly.
I'll throw you scraps down every so often.
As long as I get a lesson here and there, I'm cool.
Well, hey, we have our indoor garden right over there.
Exactly.
You can feed yourself.
I'm self-sustained. Yeah.
I love it. Let's try that again with the lyrics. Oh,
You're
oops.
good. You're good.
Tell me you love me. Right, the tell me you love me.
Told me you love me. Told me you love me.
Yeah, told me you love. Don't switch to love.
Okay. Told me you love me.
There
wait.
you go.
You wait with that. Okay.
That was good.
Okay. Told me you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over. Oh, I did this stuff again.
That's okay. You were focused on something else.
Yes, exactly.
But that was pretty good.
Okay.
The 2 weeks in. I like the told me breathy. Then the 2 weeks in so the 2 weeks in can you make that just heady instead of breathy?
Yeah.
So, because it's a really long phrase and I don't want you to run out of breath.
And that's how I feel. Every time I'm singing this phrase, I'm like, I'm trying to be breathy, but
So basically the first high note is breathy.
Okay.
The second high note is just in a head voice, like soft head voice, but not breathy because of breath. Because it's a long phrase. And then that last note over the last high note, were more mixy.
Okay.
Right? So every high note gets a little more intense as we go through it.
Gotcha. Told me you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over.
That was actually not bad,
Yeah,
though.
I was like, I liked it. I just didn't do what I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that one was good, that one was good, that one was good. And I flipped again. Dang it.
Yeah. But I know. When you're getting up to that note, focus on creating space in the back. So the last breath that you can take before the over and over, inhale through a yawn.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So it's going to give you the space so you don't feel the need to flip as much. Let's try it.
Told me you love me 2 weeks in, and I knew I would fall for you over and over, but who would have known that feeling would come to an end?
Sorry, I distracted you, but yes.
No, it's okay. I needed to look at the words. No,
but beautifully adjusted.
Okay.
And
wonderful.
What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, adjusted and executed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw you going like, right, to really inhale through that yawn, but it was so good and it solved the problem.
Right, and it gave me the breath support because that's like a quick inhale, right?
Yeah.
But like when you inhale through a yawn, you can get so much more in. It's still a quality breath. I always say like quality over quantity. It like gives me the quantity that I need while still keeping it quality, and it also places
open.
me in a good open place. So,
Exactly. It just gives you a little bit more space. Your larynx is not stuck up high, and then you don't feel the need as much to flip.
Right.
I love it. Let's keep going.
Now it's just me and 100 square feet, bittersweet memories. Deleted the playlist, but I still hear all of your favorite melodies. Strangers to lovers to enemies. So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room.
Yes. So we got it back into the chorus. Before we get back into that, the rest feeling good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, feeling good. Okay. So I'll dance. Sisi. A little breathier.
Sisi.
There it is.
I like know that I know that I have it because I can like feel it. I don't know if I have a deviate septum or what, but I can feel it like vibrating in my right nostril, like right here. Like, I'm like, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
I love that.
C. Now there it is. Yeah. I'm like, okay. Whatever works. Like,
Let's see if we can get that transition-y.
Okay. Strangers to lovers to enemies. So I'll dance with your ghost in the living room, and I'll play the piano alone. But I'm too scared to delete all our videos, 'cause it's real once everyone knows. Could have at least shown me some decency, done me a favor and packed up your clothes. Falling in love, no it ain't for the weak, so don't try this at home.
Okay. How was that?
Better. Good. Better than I was doing it when I first walked in. Still finding that space and holding it there.
Yeah.
And I think I started to lose a little bit of artistry because I was so focused
Oh,
on...
of course.
Yeah.
There's only so many things we can focus on at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like every time that I'm like very focused while I'm practicing, I'm always like so dead face. And people are like, she's a stage performer? I'm like, no, this is not how I perform. I'm just focusing.
Of course not. Yes, of course.
I'm just focusing.
No, 100%. Focus face.
Yes.
It sounded nicely balanced.
Cool.
To me, I believe this was maybe 10% less chesty than what we were doing before.
Yeah, I felt very mixy.
Do you agree that this is less than where we were at in the first chorus? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Good. I just want to make sure I'm not making this up.
You're good.
But yeah, so I don't want to like keep pushing your voice because this kind of work is like a lot.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here as we did in the first course, so we don't need to like do it again and again and again.
Something I can go home and do.
Exactly. Tomorrow.
Yes.
Not today. Or no, tomorrow you have a gig. Not tomorrow. Yeah. Whenever you don't have a gig. Okay? Because
I'll practice it on stage. I'll be very mindful, and then I'll be dead faced at this wedding. Like,
I love it. I mean, don't.
I mean, stage is not for practicing.
No, it's not.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Me. Literally me. But okay. But yeah, so you have the right tools now to get back into it. So I'll let you practice that on your own.
Thank you.
We were able to achieve that. And I know you can do it again. I just don't want to keep pushing because we were already singing a lot.
Yeah.
The ending. How does the ending go? Is there a lot more crazy stuff happening?
No, not really. It's there's like this head voice bridge that's like.
All right, show me. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
Weak, so don't try at home. Ooh, 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 don't try at home. It's like very soft ending. Ain't it funny how time shows you know nothing? 'Cause I used to love you, but now you're dead to me. Strangers to lovers to enemies. Yeah. I don't know how those oohs go. I make them up every single time. I'm like, I'll find something in a scalar pattern here. Like,
I mean, it worked. Whatever you did, it worked.
Thank you.
It was pretty. It was very pretty. How did it feel?
Good. You were saying like we've done so much singing. I want you to give you a break, and I'm like, this is probably the healthiest I've ever felt. Like after like a vocally taxing.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, oh, we can keep going. I feel great, but that's like something that you have to pay the vocal fairy for tomorrow. So
yes,
I appreciate
you don't usually feel it right in the moment.
Yeah. And then
when
you get
done
home,
right.
you're going to bed at night, and you're like, ooh, my voice feels hot.
Do you do vocal cool downs?
Sometimes, yeah. Not always. It depends on how vocally taxed I'm feeling at the end.
Okay. I would recommend doing it every time.
Yeah, every time.
It doesn't hurt, right?
I usually do like a fifth, like a.
Nice.
Yeah, I used to have to carry a straw with me and do the straw SOBTs with cup and water and stuff.
Yeah,
but
love that.
That's a good one. Like,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, pretty much. You can also like mostly head voice stuff too.
Yeah,
that feels nice. Maybe like or a fifth or
yeah.
You could also do something like the scale itself like really doesn't matter. It's just the
Trying to reduce that inflammation. Yeah.
And it's really not at all about controlling it,
Yeah.
right? Like if there's cracks, that's fine.
I like that.
Yeah. Wee.
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 Great. When you get down there, easy.
Yeah.
Wee.
Wee.
Do you hear how you're going to wee?
Yeah,
Right?
like settle into it. Yeah.
Wee.
Wee.
There it is.
Yeah.
Keep your larynx more neutral.
Gotcha.
All right. Wee.
Wee.
Yeah. It's more speech-like.
Yes.
Keep it in speech-like qualities. And then what did you do?
Yeah, the.
Yeah. I love that.
And I like doing this too because I can like feel I'm like, why are you having tension during your cool down? You are literally cooling down. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
hard part's over, girl. Relax.
Yes.
Relax. Okay. These are the little pep talks I give myself internally.
Yes. Do it.
I'm like,
do
welcome into my brain.
That's plenty. You don't need to go lower than that.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And you could also like to really finish it off. You could do some humming.
Yeah.
Great. Do you feel a difference at all between that one and your V?
Just I feel a little bit more open.
A little more open.
I think. Okay. Yeah, and like the V's kind of resonate more in my like pharynx area.
Okay.
Where the is more like it's still in that pharynx area, but it's lower. It's like that more like upper larynx.
Yeah.
Like
it's quite far. Yeah, I was just gonna say it's quite far back. It sounds quite yawny. Can you make it more speech like? Yeah. Yeah, and you really don't have to go lower than that on your cool downs.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Just whatever feels speech like.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Because usually I'm doing like full gamut, like to like the bottom of my range. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't need to do all that.
Nope,
Okay.
nope, not for a
Love.
cool down.
Exactly.
Definitely not for a cool down.
Love.
Yeah.
Okay. Speech like.
Amazing. Do you have any questions?
I don't. I'm gonna go home and ponder on all of this for a very, very long time. Thank you so much. You always teach me so much every time I'm here, and I'm just
so
like,
welcome.
oh, I love it.
You're so welcome.
And,
Obviously,
I love to nerd out with you about vocal pedagogy. So
Yay!
I know, it's
Yay!
so much fun.
You know,
I love
obviously,
it.
you know your stuff. Like, you know, it's
I try to, but I always tell my students I don't know everything. Like
No,
sometimes they're like,
neither do I.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like nobody knows everything. So
No, yeah.
It's always because like I'll be like out one week because I'll be gigging and they'll be like, oh, I don't want a fill-in instructor. I'm like, take it from a fill-in instructor anyways. You'll never know what you'll learn from somebody else that you never
Yes.
learned from me. And like, I still take voice lessons. Here's
Yeah.
my proof, you guys. I still take voice lessons.
yeah.
I'm like, and nobody is the best either. Like that's another thing is that the people who I see not go far in the industry are the people who think, well, this is my voice and this is what I have to work with and I'm just going to keep using it. I'm like, no, you are never at your final stage. You're never at that final level. So thank you so much for helping me.
Of course.
Maybe not get to my final level because that means that I'm dead. But
And we don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say we are getting a lot closer to beating that final boss in your video game.
Thank you. I can't
Like
wait.
that was really, really, really good. We found a really nice mixed spelty place there in that first chorus. Now it's just a matter of practicing this again and again and again so you can find it
Right.
like that,
Yes.
right? But
Muscle
that takes
memory.
practice. We can't just expect to get it once and then always. That's just not how it works.
No, never.
I wish it was. But I mean, compared to, you know, like when you first like sang it the first time around, to that first chorus when we found that sweet spot, it's like, oh my God, like this is miles different. Like
Right.
it's so good.
The way that I was singing it before, I would sing it like through twice, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, now I got to pay the vocal fairy." Yeah, so I'm like,
exactly. And we don't want that. So I would, you know, love to encourage you when you're practicing that you're not just pushing through and be like, I just
Right.
want to get the power. Like, stop yourself from doing that as much as you possibly can because every time you do it, it gets harder to find the right place again, right? Or no, I don't love using the word right place because who am I to say what's right and what's wrong, but the more sustainable place.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, try and keep yourself from just pushing through anyways, as much as you can, right? So as soon as you feel yourself getting into that, if you are in a position where you can stop yourself, stop yourself and try again instead of continuing through the rest of the chorus.
Right.
Obviously, when you're performing, it's a little different. We don't have that luxury, but
you did
when you're
teach me some
practicing-
performing tips, like when I start to feel like that larynx is getting creeped up, like when you go
Inhale
to
through a
breathe,
yawn.
yawn. Inhale through a yawn. That has helped me out so much. Like anytime I
Good.
feel like I'm just pushing and I like don't know where my voice is going to go, and I know I'm about to crack, and I know I'm not going to make these notes. It's a easy reset that you can do in 2 seconds that completely can transform the way that the rest of the song is going to shake out.
Absolutely.
It's nice.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Let us know, where can we find your stuff so because we can listen
absolutely.
to your music.
I'm on TikTok, Rachel Beasley Music. I'm on Instagram at Beasley_Rachel. And you can find the Indigos, that's my band, at the Indigos Music. Their latest single, Stand Up, I wrote and sang lead on. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. And
Very cool.
And really just anywhere. I'm like, maybe if you see me out in Indianapolis singing at a wedding or singing with the Indigos somewhere, I'm around.
Come say hi.
Yeah,
right?
come say hi. Yeah.
I love it. right. Awesome. I'll be sure to link to everything too so they can find it easily.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you for sharing your beautiful instrument with us.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. And hopefully we'll be able to have you back sometime.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Yay. Awesome.
Thank
Alrighty.
you.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.